Welcome to this second part of the chapter entitled Semantics, and this is the second lexical relation that we are going to introduce today, which is antonymy. Of course, antonymy means the relationship of oppositeness, in meaning between words. Antonymy is of different kinds. The first kind of it is complementary pairs. This is a pair of antonymous words where we have got a complementary, what you call antonyms. They complement each other. I mean, if you like, they categorize the word into two distinct, if you like, entities or, categories here. Alive as opposed to dead, which means if X is alive, it is not dead. But if I reverse the pattern here, I say X is not alive, it means automatically that it is dead. So, in a formal way, we can say the assertion of the one leads to the negation of the other. And at the same time, the negation of the one leads to the assertion of the other. Same thing in here, present, absent. Let's begin by the assertion of the one. X is present. It leads to the negation of the other. X is not absent. Now, if I begin here by the negation here of the one, X is not present, it automatically leads or means that X is absent here. So, in general, this is what happens in all these and in all the other what we call complementary pairs. The assertion of the one leads automatically to the negation of the other, and the negation of the one leads automatically to the assertion of the other. Okay, this is how we can identify complementary pairs as a test here. Now, the second category, or if you like, kind of antonymy, is gradable pairs of antonyms. Gradable antonyms: big, small, hot, cold, fast, slow, happy, sad. Here, if we apply to them the test that we did for complementary pairs, we're going to find problems. Look, let's begin by the negation here. Big is not, X is not big. Will it automatically lead or mean that X is small? Of course not necessarily, because it may refer to something in between. We have got degrees here. Same thing here. X is not hot. It does not necessarily mean that it is cold, because it may be something between here. You know that we have got degrees of heat. Same thing, fast, slow, happy, sad here. So, in fact, this test can help us, distinguish between complementary pairs and gradable antonyms here. Between gradable antonyms, we have got grades, degrees. Okay, and here we have got no degrees. There is a clear-cut, distinction. Okay, between the first category and the second. But in here, we have got a certain continuum, between big and small. Now, these gradable pairs of antonyms give rise to implication. Let's explain it through this example here. A mountain is higher than a hill implies that a hill is lower than a mountain. Look, here we have got another couple of gradable antonyms, high and low. And look, even here, the morphological marker here, ER. This is the comparative form of the adjective. Here higher and here lower. We can even have another degree. We can say highest and lowest, the superlative form of the adjectives here. This shows that we have got degrees here. So when it is possible to have this kind of implication between the gradable antonyms in sentences like this, so it's easy for us to identify them as gradable antonyms and to make them different from the other kinds of antonyms here. At the same time, we have to mention the notion of markedness. Let me just explain it through the example here. We have got big and small. This is a couple of words that we call gradable antonyms. Look at this question. How big is a man? When you use the word big in this context, do you mean that the man, this person, is big? Of course, here you do not assume that he is already big. You are just asking about his size. You have no idea about the man here. So the word big here is not used with its general meaning, bigness, but it is used in a neutral context, in a neutral sense here. It refers just to size here. But in this question, how small is the man? If you say how small is the man, it means that you already know, you already assume that the man is small here. So small here, cannot be used in its neutral sense, in a neutral context, general context. It is used here and it carries with it its original meaning of smallness here. So this one which is used in a neutral context is the one which is unmarked. But the one which keeps its original meaning with it is marked. Same thing in here, hot and cold. If I say X, how hot is X? I'm just asking about the degree of heat. But if I say how cold is it, I already assume that it is already cold here. So hot is unmarked, cold is marked here. Okay, so these are two things that can help us, if you like, identify gradable antonyms. Now, a third category or a third kind of antonymy is the one we call relational opposites. Look, give, receive. When you mention the word give, you automatically suggest, you automatically lead to the meaning of receive, because if you give something to somebody, that somebody is supposed to receive it here. So the two things here, the two words, are called relational opposites here. Look, this is a test that that can be used to identify relational opposites. X gives Y to Z. It means Z receives Y from X. Let's look at this couple of words here, teacher, pupil. If I say X is the teacher of Y, automatically it means Y is the pupil of X here. So you have just to reverse the order of the antecedent here, and you are going to use the other antonym to express the same meaning here. Now we can talk about some other ways, some morphological processes through which we can obtain the notion of antonymy. Look here, likely, unlikely. Here we add this prefix un. Normal, abnormal, this ab here. Correspondence, non-correspondence, tolerant, intolerant. So different morphemes here can serve to show the same meaning. Okay? Now another lexical relation is this one called homonymy. First of all, we need to explain homography and homophony here. What do we mean by homophony here? Homophony means two different words being pronounced in the same way but written differently. Bear, bear, sun, sun, meat, meat here. These are cases of what you call words pronounced in the same way but they are written differently. Now, as opposed to homography, where we have got homo, which means same, graphy, writing, spelling. For example, here, this one and this one. This one, minute. This one is minute. So here we have two different words, written in the same way, but pronounced differently here. So here we have got a case of homography. Same thing in here. Tia and ta. Okay, so we have got a case of homography here. So homophony, words being pronounced in the same way, written differently, but homography, cases where we have got words being written in the same way but pronounced differently. Now, on many occasions we obtain words being written and pronounced in the same way. This is what we call complete homonymy. But let me go back to this definition here. It's a little bit different. Homonyms are words that have different meanings but are pronounced the same and may or may not be spelled the same. Okay, for example, according to this definition, son and son are homonyms. Okay, they are pronounced in the same but they are not, they may not, okay, they are not spelled in the same. But complete synonym, homonymy, sorry, is when the two words are being pronounced and written in the same way. For example, bank, here we have got two words here. Pupil, we have got two words here. Soul, we have got two words here. And the meanings of for example, a bank here, number one, and bank number two here, they are different here. So these are cases of homonymy. Now another notion which is related to homonymy is polycymy. Polycymy is a case where we have got one word, not two words, but one word, which has multiple meanings, many meanings that are related conceptually or historically. It is said to be, so this word is said to be polysymous. For example, head. Now, if you consult your dictionary, you're going to find that this same word, head, has got different meanings. Meaning number one, meaning number two, meaning number three. For example, meaning number one is the part of the body on top of the neck. Meaning number two is mind or brain. Meaning number three, it's the head of the river, which means the place where a river begins. Meaning number four, the head of the table, which means the most important seat at the table. We can have another meaning, the head of the department. So all of these meanings share the same thing, something on top, the most important thing in something here. Same thing for bed. Okay, bed has got different meanings. Okay, so for example, we can have meaning number one, a piece of furniture for sleeping on, or number two, meaning number two, the bottom of a river. Meaning number three, an area of ground in a garden, yard, or park for growing flowers. So, all the meanings of bed have got something in common, a flat surface where something occurs or happens or exists here. Same thing for eye. We can talk about the human eye. For sight, we can talk about the eye of the needle and other things here. Anyway, it's the same word with different meanings, and the meanings are related. This is what you mean by the meanings are related conceptually or historically here. If you go back into time, into the history of the language, you can identify that there is some kind of link between the meanings of the same word here. So, in fact, polycymy, here we are talking about just one word having different meanings, but homonymy, we are talking about different words written in the same way, pronounced in the same way, but they are different in meaning at the same time here. Okay? Now, another lexical relation is this one called hyponymy. This is the relationship that exists between the general and the specific word. For example, here, animal is the general, lion is the specific. The general one is called the superordinate term. The specific one is called the hyponym. So lion is the hyponym of animal. Okay. Same thing here. Color is the superordinate term. White is its hyponym here. Now, when we talk about hyponymy, we should mention this transitive relationship. Look, X is the hyponym of Y. Y is the hyponym of Z, then X is the hyponym of Z here. Let's apply to this set of words. We have got animal, dog, Alsatian here. So animal is the superordinate term. It includes, among other things, dog. So dog is the hyponym of animal. Now dog itself becomes the superordinate term for Alsatian because we have got other kinds of dog. We have got poodle, we have got the bulldog and other things here. So if you like, since Alsatian is the hyponym of dog and dog is the hyponym of animal, then this one is the hyponym of animal. Same thing here, plant, flower, daisy. Plant, superordinate term, flower its hyponym, daisy is the hyponym of flower, therefore daisy is the hyponym of plant. Now there is another approach through which we can show the meaning of words. This is done through what we call semantic features, or we call them semantic components, and the whole approach which here is called semantic or componential analysis. componential analysis, which means we try to analyze the meaning of words in terms of components or features. So, decomposing the meanings of words into semantic features can clarify how certain words relate to others. Let me explain it through this set of words. We have got man, woman, boy, girl. So these words are related in different ways. First, let's mention their what we call semantic features. All of them are human. They are plus human. Notice I say plus human, which means it's possible to say minus human. When I specify, for example, tree or dog or other things, I am using minus human for them, as opposed to these. Okay? The other, semantic feature is a dot to distinguish man and woman from boy and girl. I am going to use also another feature here, male. For example, plus male are man and boy. Minus male are woman and girl here. So what am I doing here? I am showing, if you like, the relationship between the words in terms of features. For example, this notion of opposition that exists between man and woman, it obtains because both of them do not share one feature, which is this one. This one is plus male, this one is minus male. But both of them are plus human, both of them are plus adult. Now, the two words here, man and boy, are different from woman and girl in one feature, in one component. Okay? So, man and boy are plus male. Woman and girl are minus male. Look here, boy and girl are different from man and woman, of course, in which feature here? This one here. Both of them here are minus adult. These ones are plus adult. Okay? Now, look, we can have this opposition between man and woman. This same, oppositeness that exists in here can be marked morphologically. For example, actor, actress. This S here is identified in English as a morpheme because it has got a certain meaning. It indicates the minus male partner here. Waiter, waitress. So notice that we can have a general morphological rule here. Okay, S. But in some cases, this opposition between the male and the female is lexicalized, which means it is given a new word. For example, dog, instead of saying doggess here as like actress and waitress, we have a new word which denotes the female part of dog, which is bitch here. Anyway, words contrast in one or more features. This is what we have done in here. Now others, which means other words, are unrelated, such as darkness and happiness. There is nothing in common between these words here. Okay? Now we have to stop here. We have finished introducing some of the main notions in word meaning, and we are now we'll introduce the other level, which means sentence meaning, later on.